Big day. Big day. Big day. Lineups are out. Welcome to the Arsenal tailgate. I'll pull up comments here so that I can see what everybody is saying. Now, I can't pull the lineup up. You got to be kidding me with this.
Why can't you?
I'm on the UEFA website, and it's just not putting the lineup up. Like, I had it. I had it up. I hit the reload, and then it's gone.
And it's gone.
I don't know. Trying to pull it up. Like nothing is working on the UEFA website now. And the Arsenal website doesn't put, like, it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't ever want to put it up. Like, I guarantee if you go to the Arsenal website, it's not.
Yeah, I've shared my screen. I think I've got the right lineup.
Can you make the screen bigger? SULZ. There we go.
Yeah. Well, it's just not letting me go to the lineup now. It's just a weird browser. Let me see if my other browser does it.
I mean, I don't even. Yep, it's so weird. Like, I don't know why I can't do this. Anyway, so Ryan, you see it. So
I don't. I was waiting for you to pull it up.
Well, there is that it.
Hold on.
I mean, what we see there, that's it, right? That's what you saw?
I don't know. Is it what I saw? All right, let's see.
Glenn is waiting on the link. Unless he screwed that up too.
But that's on the UEFA website, so must be.
That's the lineup.
But for some reason, I'm quite confused. I don't understand it. I don't really know whether it's a 3-back, but then no Gabriel. So I'm kind of confused. Unless it's a 4-2-4.
I hope it's a 4. What is it? Hold on. Let me see. 4-1-3-1. Right? 4-1-3-1. Because you'd have the back four of Bellerin Holding, Alba Marie Xhaka. You have Partey as the solo guy. Saka on the left. Or Saka would be on the right, Smith in the left. Odegaard. No, then there'd be
4-1-4. It's a 4-1-4-1.
No,
it could be a 4-2-4. It could be a 4-2-4.
Yeah, I think that's what Dave said. I think it's what it is. I think Smith or Odegaard 2 debates. I don't know. This is crazy. I love it though. I fucking love it.
What's the guy Heisenberg? Look, we've got Heisenberg in the building.
or we could be. I don't think this is the case, but we could be rolling with a back 3.
We are the danger. That's why I'm wearing my hat that I wore to the hardware store.
Breaking Bad, mate. Who's Jesse? I've got a Jesse in the store.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we could be a back 3. Very possible. I don't think so.
But then why wouldn't he put Gabriel? That's so confusing.
No, it's definitely not a back 3. But I don't know.
This is the first time I'm seeing the starting lineup because apparently I'm unable to click on a link. I love it. I love it.
I like it, but I just don't understand it. That's what.
SULZ, I'm dropping your screen out. I'm going to bring mine in here.
Oh, thank you. I want to see Gabriel play, but again, he's never going to play with Mari. That's just the deal. I don't get it, but I mean, yeah, we I feel like I say this every fucking game. This lineup should see us into the finals. This is a high-powered lineup. We're going to score goals. This VILLARREAL team is not up to our quality. I really hope Partey is the lone DM because I think Partey actually works better with him being the lone DM, and we could have 2 8s in Smith and Saka.
Somebody else was talking about that too.
Tony probably.
I can't remember who it was. No, it wasn't Tony. Somebody else said Partey is as the lone CDM.
He was the lone CDM at Atletico Madrid. He used to play on his own with the likes of Koke or Rodri, but he used to play like a 4-4-2, but transition into like a 1 holding when they attack. So
You guys sound like the social media I was just shaking my head at. Everybody's nervous. Everybody's worried.
Oh no, I'm buzzing.
I'm not worried at all. I'm not nervous at all. I'm nervous every time we play, but I'm not worried. I know 10 is worried because he thinks we're gonna lose.
Not worried at all. Honestly, I'm not worried at all, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, because
I don't care. Because I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy.
All right, go. No, let him explain. Holy crap!
Honestly, I came to a realization. You know what? If we lose today, guess what's going to happen tomorrow?
Nothing.
The sun's still going to come up.
Yeah. We
all hopefully are going to wake up, and we move on. It's just what we do. So if we lose, we lose. And at this point, here's the thing. For me, this season has conditioned me they've driven me to the point, football, not just Arsenal, but everything that's gone with VAR. And Ryan, you and I were talking about this with VAR and this just the stupidity and with that. Then the Super League announcement and the stupidity with that. And the Kroenke out stuff. And I'm not going to say the stupidity with that because I agree with it. But just everything this season is just, I'm conditioned now at the point where I don't care. I hope we win. And I'll be elated if we do. But my low won't be as low if we lose. I'm not letting this team ruin my day, ruin my weekend, ruin my night. I'm just just perspective. That's for me. That's it. That's all it's about. It's just about perspective.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I went too long where Arsenal would lose in unbelievable fashion. And seriously, I walked around all weekend like I wanted to fucking punch someone. I'm like, why?
You do that now?
Nah. Just stupid people at work. But just anyway, I almost said something that definitely would have gotten us canceled. But go ahead, Glenn.
All right. EG, you ignorant slut. No, what I mean to say is, hey, I'm not going to try and change your perspective, okay? But hey, the Champions League has two Premier League teams in it. The Premier League is the best league in the world. We're going to kick their asses today. All right. It's going to be 3-0. And I understand that I can't change your perspective. You beat a dog long enough, he's going to wince every time you raise your hand, so I'm not trying to change your perspective. I'm just glad to see that you are going to be so elated after the game because you're so down now.
I'm not down. I'm not down at all. I'm
really?
He's just not up.
All you were missing during that speech was the organ music in the back. Well, the sun will rise again, and we will all say amen. What? Let's play this game. Let's beat their asses. That's a great lineup that Arteta put out there.
I can't even get myself to the point with this team where I would give them a great motive. Like I'd be the worst motivational speaker in the world with this team right now. I'm like, if I had to get them all fired up, I'd be like, well, here it is, fellas. You go out, you play the game. You know what happens if you lose. You know what happens if you win. Which path, which route do you want to choose?
Real quick before SULZ and Ryan jump in, okay? This is the biggest game of the year. If these efforts don't show up for this, I know they're going to show up for this. We are better than them. They're going to show up, and everybody is going to be elated today. This is reminding me of before the result in Baku, the excitement that was all around the Arsenal universe, all right, before the Chelsea game, before. So I'm pumped, man. As much as I'm a little upset at how many people are nervous, I'm pumped that everybody is just together right now. That's all. I'm sorry. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to.
No, it's fine. Ryan, SULZ, how you feel?
Yeah, whilst he was doing a run, I actually kind of ignored it because I was trying to figure this team out. just to kind of put players visually in my own position. And I actually think, you know, he's listened to parts of what I said, and I think Saka's going to be the left back today. And I'm actually quite happy with that if that's the case, because the reason why I'm looking at it is because the way I'm looking at it is Pablo Mari holding obviously the centre backs, and I think it's going to be Xhaka, Partey in the midfield. Saka will move backwards, and then Bellerin will come obviously at the right back.
So,
and then
let me interrupt you real quick. So I'm looking at the Arsenal website. So they released the team for us. The way they have it listed, and you would think that this is by position: Leno, Bellerin, Holding, Mari, Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, so I'm right, yeah.
So Saka's playing left back, and Xhaka's moving into the midfield.
The reason why that's making me more confident as I figured the team out is because I said Saka at left back he's better there for multiple reasons. Number one, he has the pace to deal with the likes of Chukwueze or Moreno, whoever drifts in and wide. And he's also got the ability, because the one thing I don't like about Saka is when he's in front of goal, I don't have confidence him shooting. So if he's at left back, he's not going to get into those positions, but you're going to see Odegaard or the likes of Pepe or Smith Rowe get into those opportunities. And I feel more confident with them shooting. Whereas with Saka, is a brilliant ball crosser. He can pick those passes. He can pick those avenues to get those strikers in. And that's why I'm confident, even more so, because Xhaka and Partey in that midfield is how we gain control. The one thing that we weren't doing in the first leg, we didn't have control for a lot of the game. We were sloppy in our passes. We didn't, even the passages of plays that we normally get right, we were like an inch off or 2 yards in front of the player, or it was going for throw-ins or corners. And I feel like with Xhaka and Partey, that's going to be more comfortable. Partey likes Xhaka, Xhaka likes Partey, and that's why I do think this is going to be a really good lineup. And I'm actually more confident the more I start to understand the lineup. So, yeah, man, I'm buzzing. I'm really excited.
Before Ryan goes, can I say, like, one of the funniest tweets that I read was like a week ago when someone said, "When are we going to admit that Xhaka has been carrying Partey?" And I just laughed my ass off at that one. Okay, Ryan, go ahead. I'm not saying it was wrong. I'm just saying I thought it was funny. Fuck you guys.
I can't really follow that, really, to be honest.
How do you follow up brilliance?
Okay. Yeah, no, you just did. Congrats. I mean, the way I see it, and I was thinking of this before the line came out. I mean, this game, it's all on the players. You heard Aubameyang's little press conference talking about how game he is and how he wants to lead the team, and how he's up for it and the players are up for it. Yes, I think Arteta can screw this up. I think with, wrong subbing or maybe late subbing, he could influence the game. But I think this game's going to come down to the players. And I think if the players really want it, if the players want to get to the Europa League final, then they're going to do it. We're a better team than them. We have better players than them. The capability of our team should win. So to me, this is just, how bad do you want it? And these players need to come and bring it, because Aubameyang looked, he looked excited, he looked fired up. Let's hope he kind of, he hasn't really been a captain for us this season, but let's hope he does something and he fires his team up. Or, even Xhaka, have Xhaka fired up. I'm a little fired up based on the lineup, because I don't, where this is probably the most forward-thinking lineup you could think of. Yeah, and I'm even going to put Bellerin in that conversation, because I do think Bellerin's more of a forward player as comparing to Chambers. And I'm excited because Lacazette and Tierney are on our bench, so they may be making an appearance, which will definitely help us. Totally agree. The only thing I would change is Europa League final. No, this is a playoff to the Champions League. That Europa League silverware will carry the tea on into the room. That'll be our platter for carrying the tea on. The fuck's a tea on?
Tea on, two separate words.
Carry the tea
on.
Ryan, can you like just not comment on every single thing? Go ahead, BG. I'm sorry.
I had to correct them. Do you want me to correct Glenn and get him to speak the proper Queen's English here? On which to carry the tea. A platter on which to carry the tea. Anyway, Ryan, I'm coming right back to you. So how does Villarreal, you got to roll the R because they're two R's, so you have to roll the R's. How do Villarreal?
Please don't make that noise again.
How do they attack this?
I honestly, based on their lineup, I don't really see them attacking us. And that's the one caveat we have. You have two Arsenal managers in this game right here. So
is Emery going to Emery this thing up and just sit back and try to see out a 0-0 draw?
I think so. I think that they have attacking parts to their game, but I don't think they're going to risk too much. Because 1-0, we're going to the finals. So it's a very delicate game. And I said this when we scored the penalty, and last week I was like, that goal is everything. I would have, obviously you'd rather lose 2-1 than 2-0 in a two-legged picture. We get that, but that goal is enormous. I said that goal is everything. We lose 2-1. I'm not happy. I wasn't happy, but my mood from 2-0 to 2-1 was night and day. So I think I do. I think playing. He's starting Coquelin, and Coquelin is going to sit back. I can see Coquelin man marking Odegaard. It's just I don't really know how Emery's going to play because he can't Emery it. You would think he would learn after all the times he's Emery'd it up. But I think this is our game to lose. And I'm going to keep probably going back to this. It's our game to lose. This game is on the players. And they need to respond. And to me, I don't think there's really a better way for them to respond with this lineup for us and for the a competition like Villarreal, who I don't think they're a mid-table La Liga team. So I don't know.
So every time Arsenal just real quick, every time Arsenal had a big game with Unai as manager, he was conservative, defensive. He's a plus being on the opposite sideline for us today.
Agree.
SULZ, did Arteta get anything wrong with this lineup? Is there anything?
I just wanted to say, obviously, watching Villarreal versus Getafe on the weekend, and everything that Ryan and Glenn said is perfectly right. He is setting up to defend this because that's what he did against Getafe. He wanted to implement his plan against Getafe. They sat back, and just to kind of bring some stats into it, Getafe had 15 shots in the entire game, and Villarreal ended on about, I think it was 6. They had 1 in the first half, so they set up definitely to either counter-attack or absorb pressure because they know we need to go for the goal. They don't need the goal. And in terms of what Arteta's now done, he's countered that really well because I think there is a fair balance because when you got Xhaka and Partey, I feel a bit more confident that we're going to win that midfield battle because Trigueros and Parejo are good midfielders. They're talented, and Trigueros is quite young. Parejo's he's a veteran. I believe he's in his late 30s. And obviously, Coquelin, we know he's going to sit back. He's a good defensive player. Breo's got a passing range. You got Trigueros who can pick passes, and obviously got a goal against us in the first leg, which is unlike him. He doesn't really score a lot, but he definitely has the ability to. And then obviously, when we look at our lineup, we've gone for it because even if you look at our right back and left back, the intent is there to attack. Xhaka likes to sit back. So Xhaka's going to slot in for Xhaka when he attacks. And then you've got the likes of Partey coming in, who's going to sit in that midfield on his own anyway, because Xhaka slots into that left back. Partey plays that number 1 on his own, and Saka's got the freedom to go forward anyway and overload that left-hand side. And then you've got Bellerin, who, to be fair, recently especially, his attacking runs have looked a lot better. Before, he used to always like to slot in and cut inside. Now he's looking to keep the byline and take a man on. And then you've got the likes of Pepe and Aubameyang. Look, I truly believe Aubameyang's the one who's going to win this tie for us.
If you gave me this 11 and I was playing FIFA 21, for me, Saka would be the left back. You guys disagree with that? You want Xhaka there?
No. I said Xhaka will fill in anyway because that's what he tends to do.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, Saka will bomb forward on the left, and Xhaka's just going to fill in behind him. And then when we switch to defense in transition, Saka will recover and Xhaka will come back into the midfield.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. That makes the most sense.
All right. Well, the obvious omission. I like the lineup. I who said that this was the most forward-thinking lineup? Ryan, was that you that kind of put that out there?
I think we all kind of said it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean this is a lineup that when you look at it, you pretty much say we should be scoring some goals here. There are goals in this lineup. The only thing that bothers me is if Pepe is on the right wing, he and Bellerin do not play well on the right side. That's exactly
what. Yeah, that's. I think Saka's going to be on the right.
Well, Saka's playing, but Saka's playing.
I don't think it'll be that much of a problem. I actually think it might not be too much of a problem now because at first, the reason why I didn't like Bellerin and Pepe together was Bellerin loved to cut inside rather than keep the width.
Right.
But when we looked at Newcastle and when we've looked at him recently, he's actually holding width really well, allowing Pepe to be the man who cuts in. So if he continues to do that and he makes those runs on the byline rather than what he normally does, makes those inside forward runs, he might be okay, because that's why Cedric compliments him really well and Chambers, because they don't actually like coming in to take shots, whereas Bellerin kind of likes to do that. So it could work if Bellerin stays disciplined to that role and Pepe is allowed to come inside and be that inside forward. So it is a 50-50 gamble, but I do think Bellerin's learned a little bit. I still don't think he's good enough, but he is definitely showing signs of that improvement to his game.
And to piggyback on that too, Pepe's getting a lot better defensively. Pepe's been tracking back. Pepe's kind of following tactics a little bit. He's kind of following Arteta's plan. So hopefully with both of those things, working to our benefit and working to the team's benefit, I think having Bellerin and Pepe on the right isn't as bad as we think. I mean, knock on wood. I hope not. I hope not. Yeah.
No, I noticed that with Pepe too, that he's gotten better defensively, and I like to see it. This is a perfect example of we can't always blame the manager. He's got the players out there that the majority of Arsenal fans would like to see start this game, and it's up to the players now to step up in the biggest game of the year. This is it. This is the season that we can go into the transfer window in the summer in the Champions League, but we got to win 2 more games. We're going to do it today.
I'll tell you what, you fuckers are making me. You're getting the heart's starting to beat a little bit now. The heart's starting to beat a little bit. I'm starting to get into my Herb Brooks mode. Sauls, you won't know who Herb Brooks is, but Glenn, you better know who Herb Brooks is. If you don't know who Herb Brooks is, I'm gonna have to come to New York. We're gonna have to fight. I'm getting there. So, any complaints about Martinelli not being in the lineup?
Not really.
The bench. Is he on the bench?
He is on the bench.
Oh, okay. No, I'm happy with that as long as he's on the bench.
Tierney and Lacazette are both on the bench as well. The one name that is not on the bench that I'm really questioning at this point is Balogun.
I'm not
questioning it. I mean, I questioned it in the first leg, but if he wasn't even on the bench the first leg and we're getting guys back and Eddie was on the bench last game, I don't think Balogun is going to see the light of day for our first team this season.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, look what we did with Saliba. So, I don't. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked. I honestly would not be shocked if in the transfer window we sign a striker, Lacazette leaves, or we run Lacazette's contract out and we loan Balogun out. It would not shock me.
Yeah, when Balogun was not even on the bench against Everton, I gave up on hoping we would see him much this year, unless, gosh forbid, we lose this game and have absolutely nothing to play for. Then we might see him. But when he wasn't even on the bench for Everton, I gave up that hope.
Yeah,
I want to see what the kids
I think it's a good thing.
Go ahead, Sauls.
I actually think it's a good thing because the problem is, right, we've got too many youth players and we don't want to be now looking at another youth player to get us through one of the biggest games. Because let's say, for example, we're in a situation, it's 0-0, we'll bring Balogun on, let's say it's the last minute and he misses an open goal or something, or a really easy chance. The fans, I'm not going to say the fans are going to turn on him, but it is going to really do him a lot of harm. But we need those players who know how to get out of those situations and those mental blockades. Even if you did miss an opportunity that literally saves your season, And I think that's what he's trying to do, because look at our starting lineup. We've got Odegaard, a young player. Yes, he's experienced, but he's still 22. Smith Rowe, young player. Saka's a young player. Holding's come through a youth academy. Then when we look into the bench, we've got even more youth there. We don't want to be adding too many youth players and being like, oh, crap, now we've got no experienced players who may be able to get us out of a rut. And I think it's a good thing. Let him come into next season where it's a fresh start. Maybe the toxicity around the fan base is a little bit less. Of course, the Kroenke's out is always going to be the movement, but there might be an ease, especially, let's say we win win the Europa League, we're in the Champions League. That sort of pressure on players is going to be alleviated a little bit. And I think that's what Arteta's trying to do, bring in Aziz in when the pressure isn't there, when the toxicity isn't there. So if they do mess up, the fans aren't going to be on their case. And I know, look, we have got a toxic fan base. We have to admit that, it's part of one of the things I don't like about Arsenal, but we are a very reactionary fan base. Look at Nketiah. We're hounding him out of the club. We don't think he's good enough. And there's some people actually literally hounding him out. There's the sensible ones who are like, look, he's not good enough. We don't really need him at the club. We've got better. But if Balogun turns out to be another Nketiah, it's not good for him. So we need to ease him into the process rather than throwing him in games like this.
5-second reply to that. Look, it's 5 subs. Balogun to me is a wild card. I say there's a spot for him on the bench today. That's all.
Yeah, and to Saul's point, I completely agree with him. But to be fair, we're not putting Balogun in when we're down. If it's 0-0, we're not. Yeah. Balogun's not seeing the light of day. He would only play for up 3-0, 4-0, where it's just like get him some minutes, Which I don't know, and I don't know. I go back and forth because I still think we should see him on the bench instead of Eddie, because I don't see Eddie playing. I guess or we take the lead. We kind of the tie's done and dusted. We're advancing. You put Eddie on just to maybe bolster some value, so we're gonna sell him this summer. Because Balogun re-signing to me meant the death of Eddie. I can't see us keeping Eddie too, but who knows? We could just sell Laka and persist with Eddie and Balogun.
But Arteta's actually came out and said, look, he's not the plan for this season. He's in plan for next season, and he is going to be playing a large part of next season. That's obviously the press conference.
Who is he talking about?
This is after the contract signing. When the contract got announced, Arteta said that the plan is to always bring him in next season. And obviously,
I didn't hear that. That's good.
So I heard the quote. I don't know how true it is, but I did hear the quote of like the plan is always to bring him in next season. And obviously this season is just about getting his contract down, and obviously they've negotiated all the terms of how he's going to play and how he's going to progress into the first team. And I do think that's the right decision because we've got way too many youth players. I get the wild card aspect, but Arteta's been slated for trying things. If he tries a Balogun and it flopped, for example, it'd just be too much of a risk, in my opinion. And I think he's got the balance right this season with the youth and the senior. I know the youth have carried us, but
I was just gonna say I like your opinion, but the youth have carried us. So I don't want to go to you.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
For me and for people that might have tuned in late, can you put the bench up there for me? I don't know who's on the bench, so I'm listening.
Yeah, give me a sec here. Let me.
I'm not saying Balogun should play today. I'm just saying with 5 subs, I'd like him on the bench. I 95% agree with Ryan and SULZ. I'm not arguing with you guys. Okay.
Let me try to blow this up a little bit.
It's a good bench. I can't complain about the bench. Like,
the bench. All things considered, this is probably about the strongest and best lineup that we could put out. You could argue Bellerin, for Chambers or even Cedric. But SULZ, you made good points with Bellerin, and the only other one would be Martinelli for Emile Smith Rowe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm in a WhatsApp chat right now, so I'm kind of back and forth here. The one thing with this lineup that I'm looking at now, how do I want to say this? I came to the realization a couple of days ago why I don't think Arteta is going to do well here, despite whatever it could happen in the summer transfer window. Most of the players that are in this team that we want to keep, that the club want to keep, are players who rely more on their own instinct, their own creativity, and their own God-given talent than their intelligence. I'm not saying they're stupid, but I'm saying that Arteta values a high footballing IQ over anything else. And when you look at these players, and if you had to say, okay, you've got a scale. On one side of the scale, you have their natural instinct, and on the other side of the scale, you have their footballing IQ. Which way is that scale going to tilt? In my opinion, most of these players, that scale is going to tilt to their natural instinct, just their God-given abilities. Aubameyang isn't a player that you put into a structure in attack. You know, neither is Martinelli, neither is Bukayo Saka, that's just not the way these guys play. Nicolas Pepe is probably the biggest example of that. I think
Saka's got a very good IQ in my opinion.
I'm not saying they don't. What I want to be careful of is I don't want to say, I don't want it to come across as I'm saying they don't have footballing IQ. I'm simply saying, in my opinion, I think they have more instinct than footballing IQ. So,
but I think with Pepe that is definitely the case. But I think with a player like Saka, I think it's quite the contrary. I think he is intelligent in terms of he understands when he can run, when he can pass and play, like as in do a 1-2. And whereas with Pepe, sometimes he does overdo it. Not sometimes, a lot of the times, especially when he first signed for us, he does overdo a lot. He runs past maybe one too many players, or tries to take on one too many players. And then Aubameyang, similar. Aubameyang is natural instinct. I mean, he is a striker, he's a finisher. That's obviously part of the... But then it's like his decision-making when he can pass and when he can actually dribble or take a run on is sometimes questionable. Sometimes the better opportunity is what kind of shot he can take. And that's where the IQ comes in. His instincts sometimes aren't great, but it is a weird one because it's a combination of, I agree with the combination of like there is not enough IQ in this team. Not saying that they're not good enough to do that, but it's just we haven't seen it enough.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, are you guys still doing this round of that? Because I want to ask Aubameyang Lacazette question, but I don't want to interrupt your flow.
No.
Well, I was going to say, can I say one quick thing about this? Because I completely disagree with Tanner. I think we don't have talent. I think the only people you could say that have talent or the instinct would be probably the three people would be Aubameyang, Martinelli, and Pepe. Pepe, he's like the anomaly. Like he's right. He's a tweener. So I think he's starting to understand Arteta's tactics. I think he's doing really well. So happy at that. Aubameyang probably shouldn't have given him a contract. He's old. I don't care if he doesn't understand Arteta's tactics. He's not long for this world. He's not going to carry us forward after the season. He maybe next season. I really don't. He's only going to go down. I mean, yeah, there's no real proof. Well, I guess this season is kind of proof. But and then you have Martinelli, who I think is so young that I think Arteta is slowly changing him. I think Arteta is slowly getting his IQ up. And you bring up all the guys, you're like, oh, they go on talent. And which I agree with SULZ. I think Saka is the opposite. I think Saka is not all intelligent, but he's very, very intelligent. All these guys are young. And, you know, you can't cram a grade's worth of knowledge in one coronavirus season. Like it's going to take time, and people don't understand that. Like we have a lot of young players, and Arteta has a lot to teach them. Is he the guy to take us forward? I still think so. I think it's a long road, and I think that these players are slowly, you know, in their professional careers, not as a team, they're slowly turning the corner, and I think they're slowly picking up what Arteta's putting down. Now you're gonna have those things. You're gonna have the Aubameyangs that are gonna kind of, I don't want to say hold us back. Aubameyang certainly isn't holding us back. Rohan, a couple of years. Well, I guess not, because I'm not talking bad about Aubameyang, but he's just someone that's just he's not gonna really take in what Arteta has to teach because he already went to school. He went to high school. He graduated college, but he's on his way out. So it's a young team now,
isn't it? Where we said that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
It was trying to get him to play out of the back just wasn't his game. And that's with Aubameyang. Aubameyang's past that point where you can teach them. The best part of build, and this is why I do want to give Arteta time because he's a young manager, is when you're bringing this youth up, and I always use the Barcelona method. They bring youth up in a sense of what they want you to do, and they teach you from a young age because that's where your foundations are built. Of course, you've got your raw talent, but it's molding that talent. It's like Ronaldo with Fergie. Ronaldo had all of this talent, but Fergie really stripped a lot of that back to make him a better player. Because yeah, you can be the flary player who does loads of skills and step overs and a billion step overs a game. Is that really going to do anything? No. It's teaching them when to use what their instincts are and when to be able to make the right decision. And that's what I'm starting to see more. Because even with Martinelli, and I use Martinelli, the reason why I don't see him play a lot, and I agree with why he doesn't play a lot, is because I don't see him being as good as people are making him out to be. And I know that's going to sound absurd to a lot of people, but I'll explain. When you look at him under the likes of Emery, he was a very sort of, and I've always used this word, he's like a bulldog that's been unleashed and he just runs mad. But if you look at what he's now doing, his pressing is really contained and it's effective, because the minute he presses his man and his man only. And then when we win the ball back, guess what? He's where he needs to be. So the transitions like that. Whereas with before, he'd be somewhere else and he'd be like, where's the left winger or where's the striker gone? And when we're trying to build up, it has to be muscle memory. And Martinelli was never in the right places. Now you're seeing him press his man and in his area. And when we transition, everyone knows where everyone is. So that's why it looks better.
Yeah, Martinelli's a kid at a sleepover that drank all the Mountain Dew, and he's running like a crazy person, and he's the first one asleep. And then every I'm not gonna say it was me, but everybody had that at their own sleepover where they had that one kid that just couldn't lay down the Mountain Dew, and then they're like, dude, chill out. We're just trying to play video games. We're just trying to hang out. He's running around, bouncing off the walls, and then he's the first one asleep. And I think that was kind of Martinelli's problem. And I think we're slowly getting better. And that's the thing too, is people think like, oh, these players don't have to. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. It was me. These players, it's me. It's still me now. I'll bring Megan in here and we'll ask her. But yeah, no, I think the thing with this youth is people think we're older than we are. You think everyone's like, I don't want to say we have too much time, but we do have time. A lot of these players have time. I saw a stat. I think it was after the Chelsea game, or I don't even know, but Mahrez and Kante. So Mahrez probably got man of the match, or he was one of the best players in that game. Kante was man of the match, Chelsea. Both of those players were playing amateur football at 21 years old. And then when they were 23, they were in League 2. So, I mean, obviously not everyone's the same, but we're making it out to be like Saka's got to do something now or he's gone. Martinelli has to do something. Everyone's talking about selling Martinelli. He's going to leave. He's not going to want to be here. Everyone needs to calm down. When you have two of the best players in the world who are going to be playing in a Champions League final, they were playing amateur football at 21. Saka was bursting onto Saka. I don't even know how old Saka is, but he's young. I'm just going on right now.
Yeah.
So it's like we have all these young talent. And it's like guys, we're not wasting anything. We're not wasting the good years. Their prime. No. They're still young.
No, but then you cry when he overuses them. And it's like, well, what do you want? You want him to use them, or don't you want him to use them? Like, you have to give them. This is why I say we're fans for a reason. They're managers and professional managers for a reason. They understand. I look at Smith Rowe. People are begging for Smith Rowe to start and like play, but every time he plays, he gets tired, and he seems to be fatigued the next game. And that's why Arteta was reluctant to start him in the start of the season into that period up until December when we played Chelsea. After that, we've seen what he can do. But we've seen it after like maybe 2 or 3 games, he was fatigued again. And this is what you have to develop on the training pitch. Yes, you have to give them minutes to do that as well, but it's finding that balance. And I think Arteta's getting it right, but people are too emotionally invested in the likes of Martinelli that they just can't bear to not see him. Martinelli's smiling. The man's in training, doing voluntary training. And you're telling me he doesn't want to be here. Why would you do extra hours if you don't want to be at the club? Why would you work with that same coach or that same coaching system if you didn't believe in what he was trying to make you do? It doesn't make it. None of the stories add up then. Either Arsenal are lying and they're showing us video footages of him doing after training sessions, or the fans just need to get on board that, yes, he's happy to be here and he trusts Arteta to develop him as a player. And they've had their conversations.
I forgot.
Glenn, you wanted to ask a question.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just remembered it. A few weeks ago, I was arguing with you and Ryan on the Tuesday night Same Old Arsenal show about Aubameyang and Lacazette. You guys did not like Aubameyang. You think he's done. Are you upset he's starting over Laka today?
I never said he was done. But no, well, I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into this. Lacazette's coming off a hamstring injury, so I do not want Lacazette starting. I want Aubameyang starting. For this game, if everyone's 100% healthy, and I didn't hear the Aubameyang press conference, I would prefer Lacazette to start this game. But again, you got to take things game by game. Injuries can happen, things can happen. Aubameyang really stepped forward as our captain and really talked about how important this is and how he really wants to lead the team tomorrow, and he's excited, and that's good. You can't start Lacazette in our most important game of the season when he nicked his hamstring. You're putting too much pressure on him. And, Aubameyang just signed an extension. Lacazette, we don't know what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to re-sign him. So either we're going to sell him in the summer or we're going to just let his contract run out. I think for me, I want to rely on Aubameyang more. I want to persist with Aubameyang. I want to see Aubameyang play more of a Lacazette just because for us as a team, he has more value. I'd rather if I want Aubameyang to play more. And Rohan thinks I'm always against him. I want Aubameyang to succeed more than Lacazette because I think Aubameyang is going to be here longer than Lacazette, and I think Aubameyang has more raw talent than Lacazette. But it's just he hasn't been having a good year. I think Lacazette's more of a team player. We need more of a team player playing center forward, and I think Lacazette just works better with the likes of ESR, Saka. Listen, when Aubameyang carried us at FA Cup, I was before that I was iffy, but he kind of shut me up and was like, okay, maybe it's not a bad idea, even though I was still reluctant and kind of sort of, I guess I'm right to this.
Thank you, Ryan, and the other three people in your head. BG, go ahead. Please.
Suck it.
For me, it's just a matter of Aubameyang just doesn't fit the system.
Yeah.
That's all it is for me. Lacazette just fits the system better. But everything that Ryan just said in terms of this game specifically, I agree with. Lacazette tweaked his hamstring 2 weeks ago. You can't put a guy in there, and who knows where that injury really stands. He's on the bench, but okay, if he's not fit to make the bench, who's making the bench instead of him? It would be Balogun, but I would not trust in this situation. I would not trust Lacazette with the injury. Now, if he and Aubameyang were both fully fit, I want Lacazette in here because I think Lacazette fits this system better. That's not cutting off Aubameyang at the knees to make Lacazette seem taller. I think Aubameyang could go somewhere else next year and rediscover the form that he had at the end of last season, given he plays in the right system. His style of play doesn't fit what Arteta wants to do here. So I'm kind of on both sides of the fence, but you get it.
SULZ, what do you think, Laka, if everybody's healthy?
In a game, so I'm more of a game by game basis kind of player. I don't look at it in a sense of who suits the system better. It's about who suits the opponent better. And I personally do think Aubameyang is the right man to beat this VILLARREAL team. And I'll explain the reasons behind it. If we look at their backline, it's not really the quickest. And what we need is pace in behind. And what Aubameyang does really well is he's always on the shoulder of the last defender and looking to run, especially when he's wanting to play. If we can get any of that sort of ambitious, Aubameyang, and the talk that he definitely on his press conference, if we could get even half of that fighting talk Aubameyang on the pitch, you know what? He's going to be the reason why we're through, because the pace is needed, and he is, in my opinion, more clinical than Lacazette, and I think he can get into better positions, and Lacazette will be better for playing the ball out and obviously being a ball centre forward sort of playmaking striker. But right now we need a goal. We need a goal quick, and that's what Aubameyang will get.
Speaking of needing a goal quick, so if we don't get the goal quick, how far into this game does it become butthole pucker in time if we don't score? At what point do you really start to get I don't even want to. I don't necessarily want to say worried, but you guys know what I'm saying when I say butthole pucker in time.
Let me go first. All right. I refuse to answer because that's not going to happen. Okay, next person go.
So you think we're scoring quick?
We're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. I refuse to answer or even entertain that thought. Okay. Thank you. I love you, BG.
Wow. Wow. I think we're going to win now because Glenn, if we don't, the world is going to implode. and Glenn will be the catalyst of that implosion.
I'll take you all with me if you don't.
We're all going. There's no doubt about that.
No, guys, other guys answer. I refuse to answer that. Go ahead.
I mean, we gotta hope they don't score, right? Because if they score, we gotta score too. If we win 1-0, we're advancing. They score, we have to score 2. And if we score 2, we're going to extra time. Which to me, that would be a butthole pucker in time. I don't know. I mean, geez, I have the worst memory. What was the game where Tierney scored? We came. Was it Benfica? It was Benfica.
Yeah, Benfica. Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty close to pucker. And so, I mean, if we get into that shape, then yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to be probably nervous the entire game just because I want my team to succeed. I want my team to win. You know, I mean, unless we go up 4-0, 5-0, you're going to be. I mean, I'm just nervous. I guess I'm just hanging on every edge during the game. I mean, if you got, I don't know, I don't think any of you guys have ever really watched me watch the game live. But I scream at the TV like I'm in the stands. I yell at the players like I'm in their ear. I yell at Arteta like I'm right next to him. So
why would I watch you do a game live when that you do horrible things with stuffed animals when we win?
I do it when we lose too. When we lose too, I do it. But yeah, I know. I mean, it's I don't know. I think it's an important game, so I think I'm going to be nervous until the whistle blows and we win. You know, we could be at 5-0. I'm still be nervous.
You know what I'm absolutely sure of? We're going to get the first goal within the first 25 minutes. Will that make you less nervous?
To be fair, Glenn, you said that against Slavia Prague, and we did do it. You said 20 minutes, so you did say 20. I like it.
You did.
I like it. So, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna be nervous. Yes, and you realize too, like no one beats us. We beat ourselves. So yes, I'm nervous. I'm nervous for us. I'm nervous for us, making that crucial mistake to let a team like Villarreal back into this game. So you got to be nervous. We have a lot of mistake-ridden players. We have a lot of brain farts in this team. So it's comes with the territory.
Okay, SULZ.
To be honest, the question was whether we can score a goal. That no one said we've conceded. So it doesn't really matter if we go and score it in the literally the last seconds of the game or whether we score it in the first minutes, because the objective is to get through. How we get through, I don't really care, because as long as the team look like they're believing in themselves and I don't see heads being dropped and I don't see sloppy play and all this like buffoonery that we sometimes do, I'll be fine. I'll be confident that we can get that goal because we've got the capabilities of getting that goal. So as long as the question was if we can score, no one said the circumstances around that. So I'm going to presume we haven't conceded. And to be honest, I'm not going to be nervous. I'm going to be confident in this team to get the job done. And I think, and I say it, Captain Fantastic Aubameyang is going to do the job for us.
Glenn, you said we're going to score within the first 25 minutes, right?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what else? You know who's going to score his first goal today? I took this out of the dustbin. All right, you ready? Can you see it?
Wow.
This guy, he's going to score first. Oh, you can't see it when I turn the light on. Partey is going to score his first Arsenal goal today. 3-0!
Glenn, I have 3 words for you.
What?
Make it so. Make it so.
Oh, it's better than the 3 words my wife usually says. Okay.
Go fuck yourself? Is that it?
I was trying to be decent.
Yeah, don't try to be decent on this. Not with Ryan, anyway. When Ryan is on this show, decency goes out the window.
Is this the predictions part of the show? Because I already,
You already gave yours. Yeah, we're going to knock off a hair early. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long Ryan talks when we talk about predictions.
I honestly don't even really have a prediction.
So I'll come to you first on predictions and just anything else you have to say on the match.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not even nervous, and I know that sounds a bit crazy, but
No.
I'm very, very confident. I believe the lineup finally is right, and I don't think he's done anything wrong. I'm gonna stick with my score prediction because I truly believe that is what the scoreline is gonna be. I know a lot of people are thinking we're not gonna concede, but personally, I think we will. But we're gonna win this tie 3-1.
Glenn, you said 3-0, right?
Oh yes, that's right.
Any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give you the.
We are the danger. We are the danger. That's it. That's my final thought.
Ryan?
I don't know. Well, we'll say 2-0 to the Arsenal. It's funny because I'm confident, but like I'm confident that we're going to advance. I'm confident we're going to get to the finals, but I'm also like, I guess like the 90. I don't know how to explain it, but like I gotta wait 90 minutes to be like, okay, see, that was nothing. But like the whole time I'm like we gotta score, right? We gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like it's still a 90-minute game, so yeah, I'm confident, but I'm gonna be nervous to get through that 90 minutes. So it's I don't know.
The anticipation of death is worse than death itself.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. The anticipation of death is worse than death itself. Think about it. If anything in your life that you've never been that you weren't looking forward to, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be so bad. I can't I don't. How am I going to get through this? And you got through it. And the anticipation of getting through it was always worse than the actual event itself. But take the flip side of that. When you were a kid, Christmas Eve, or however you guys celebrated, if you celebrate Christmas. I don't know if you celebrate Christmas. I apologize. But whatever it is that you're looking forward to, I'll use Christmas as an example of that. Birthdays. There we go. Everybody's got a birthday. We'll do birthdays. But you anticipate it. You're looking forward to it. But then it comes and at the end, you're just kind of like, but the anticipation was better than what the actual event was. So at this point, it's just to what Ryan is saying. Yeah, it's like the anticipation of this is going to be.
You know why it's annoying? Because like when you're doing like Christmas, Eid, or like birthdays or whatever celebration, you kind of expect what you're gonna get because you asked for it. Now we're asking for a win, but we might not get it.
Yeah. Good point. Good follow.
And I think also too a big reason why it's like still nervy, and you could be as confident as you want, Glenn. You could be as confident as you want, Saul. You could be as confident as you want, Bennett. I'll do it. Shout out to Lonesome London. We have a circus clown. We have circus clown errors, and anything can happen. We could have Xhaka just stick his foot out and get sent off in the first 5 minutes of the game and play a man down the entire anything and that's the thing with our team. That's the thing with Arsenal. We can be confident as you want, but then what happens when we're down to 10 men in the first 10 minutes of the game? You know, because if it's gonna happen to anybody, it's gonna be us. It's gonna be us that it happens to. You know, David Luiz thing with the Wolves. I remember we were podcasting about it, and I was like, "Oh, Wolves aren't that good. Like we can do this. We're gonna get them." And then, but I don't think any of us foresaw David Luiz getting sent off before halftime. You know, so for me, it's why you could be as confident as you want. But as an Arsenal fan, I think there's always like a bar. There's always like you can't be too overconfident because something is bound to happen with us, whether it's bar, whether it's a red card.
This is a different case, Ryan. This is you need to be more positive.
Yelling at us, the guys who's yelling at us angrily to be more positive. I love you, Glenn. I love it. It's hysterical.
I take shots at you guys. I can take it. And by the way, you didn't give your prediction yet, BG, and I sat through that whole damn sermon. Ryan, you need to be more positive. That's like you were 3 nights ago on Sam.
I said 2-0 win. How is that not positive?
Not you. I'm talking to BG. I said you need to be more positive, like you were 3 nights ago. BG, I sat through a 2-minute sermon. I want to hear your score.
You might sit through a 3-minute sermon now. No, but what Ryan just said, you just don't know what you're going to get with this team, and that's what has driven me to this.
And I'm not even talking about 90 minutes. Literally, it takes one play. It takes 1 second of stupidity that could just completely change the game.
For me, in all honesty, it's not even the stupid errors that the brain farts that we have that bother me. It's this we dominate possession up until the 18-yard box, and then we get into the 18-yard box, and all of a sudden we go from playing football to like trying to qualify for the Olympics and swimming. It's like what happens to us inside the 18-yard box when it comes to scoring, and we just can't seem to do it. At any rate,
throw all that out the window. This game is it. This is the game of the year. This is it. This is it.
Oh, by the way,
show up. The players are going to show up today.
Go ahead,
Balogun's in the stand supporting the players, so yeah, don't worry, lads. He's here.
3-0. I actually agree with Glenn.
You get me all worked up with your gloom and doom. You and Ryan need the medicine my daughter takes every day. Holy crap!
Listen, man. Here's the thing.
Rexulti.
What are you writing down the prescription?
I'm writing down.
Email them to me later.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I hope I'm right. I really hope, Glenn. I hope we're right. I'm hoping for 2-0 by halftime. No, you know what? I'm lying. I'm not hoping for 2-0 by halftime. Usually, I'm in the boat of put the matter to bed early. Get it done early. I don't want that today, and I'll tell you. And it's a little weird, and I'll tell you why. I feel like if we're up 2 or 3-0 at halftime, we're going to take our foot off the gas, and we're going to let them back into the game.
Yeah. And
I don't want to let them back into the game in the second half because for some reason in the world of professional sports, you get up by a certain amount of points, goals, whatever you want to call it, whatever it is. And all of a sudden teams seem to like, okay, we don't need to score anymore. No, that's your job.
I can't defend that Arteta might do that, but I can't believe that he would.
My point is, it's not just him. Like it literally is everywhere. We all know this. The only sport where it really probably doesn't exist, or 2 sports, is baseball and cricket. Just because of the nature of the game, it just doesn't happen. But we see it, and we especially see it. 3 of us are hockey fans here. We watch hockey, and boy, the worst lead to have in a hockey game is a 2 or 3 goal lead.
Yeah, I understand. But Arteta's not an idiot. If he sits back and parks the bus if it's 2-0, I don't think he's that stupid. I've seen it.
I've seen it with him. I've seen that with him.
I'm losing my voice yelling at you guys.
Yeah, so. Stop yelling. We get it. That's 1-0. Give me 1-0 at halftime, and I'll feel pretty good about things because because at that point, I still think the mentality will be go chase the second goal, go chase the third goal, and so give me that third goal around 70 minutes, and we've maintained the clean sheet. Give me that third goal around 70 minutes, and I'll be a happy guy. So. That's it for us. Right at about an hour. Do me a favor, the 3 of you stick around real quick after we go off the air, just real quick. So that's it for us, guys.
Thank you for watching.
The year. Yes, thank you everybody for watching. Everybody in the comments, obviously my esteemed co-hosts here. Really appreciate it, guys. We will hopefully might be a pleasant surprise after the game as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk to you guys later. Good footy talk. See you out there.